Matcha here. So today I'm going to be covering my writing process for my young adult fiction novel Around Midnight. This is the final set of videos that I'm recording in a short series about how I wrote and published my 3 young adult fiction novels. Around Midnight is my 5th published book under my name and my 3rd published young adult fiction novel. I published Around Midnight in 2020, but I wrote it during 2019. So I'm going to discuss my writing process for it here and my publishing process in the next video. Honeybee. So Around Midnight is a novel that is very personal to me because it was actually inspired by a past relationship that I was in when I was 19. The book is about a 17-year-old girl named Megan who meets and falls for this very manipulative and nasty guy, Vincent, so fairly heavy. The book felt like something that I had to write in order to move on from past experiences, and it was quite tough writing some parts of it. And I wanted to capture the pain and emotional trauma of being in a relationship as a teenager that is very painful and intense in the worst possible way. In the story, Meg is a white, middle-class blonde girl, and that's something that was very deliberate because I didn't want it to look like I was writing about myself, and I wanted to make sure that the character was someone who was very removed from me. I also liked the idea of this young white girl being a huge fan of jazz, as Megan plays the saxophone and she wants to go to jazz school. Jazz as a genre was traditionally created by African Americans, and I think that's the beauty of art and music, that it can span so many cultures and bring people of different cultures together. While I was writing the story, I watched Twilight. Yes, I watched all 5 Twilight movies, something I haven't done in quite a few years because I believe personally that Twilight is the best possible example of an emotionally abusive relationship that one can have as a teenager. You're ice cold and pale. Say it. Say what I am. You're a snowman. Twilight is a book series that I loved as a kid, but now I find it unbelievably cringy. The writing is terrible, the characters are boring, but I find it really sad that it basically tells young girls that it's okay to be in a relationship with a guy who treats you really poorly. A guy who is manipulative, possessive, cold-hearted, and is basically constantly telling you that he wants to munch your brains out. So Around Midnight can be read as the anti-Twilight. I wanted to write the kind of book that I wish my younger self had read, which is essentially a cautionary tale about how to avoid being in a relationship with a bad guy who basically doesn't care about you. Unless, of course, you're a masochist. I wrote Around Midnight during the summer of 2019, and then I later revised it and sent it to Monica Black, who's the same lady who edited Anne. And overall, apart from the emotional hardship that came with writing it, it was a pretty enjoyable experience. I had a lot of fun writing the jazz references and listening to lots of jazz while writing the novel. And I'm also a musician. I actually went to a music academy and did a degree in songwriting and creative artistry. So that's how I wrote Around Midnight. So tune in next time to see my publishing process for this book and how 2020 was a massive turning point for me in terms of marketing and promo for my books overall. Subscribe.